sometimes people do just talk and talk and talk because they're uncomfortable ending it because it's awkward. And you have to know what you need from them and when to let them go on too long. And then sometimes you can say, okay, well, I'll go ahead and stop you there. That's good. Or thanks for that. I think this is headed a good direction. Maybe we could go back and maybe we could pick up here. You need to segue so you don't offend them. This is real tricky. And then it depends on who they are, if they're your friends, if it's your pastor, if it's a business person. But you have to try to kind of play to them a little bit and say, maybe we'll go back. And some people have been able to say, can you give me the 90-second version of that? And they're like, oh, okay. And then they can. Some people are like, 90 seconds? I don't know what you're talking about. And then you're like, forget it. So it depends a lot on the person, like Andrew's saying, their personality, how much you can get away with interrupting them, that kind of thing. And that just kind of depends on the person. So
another thing I just thought of to include with that too is, I think I maybe mentioned it once before, but the other thing is making sure that you have a good beginning and ending somewhere is really important, because it seems like most of the time people answer a question, then it kind of trails off because
right.
they don't have anything else to say on that. And that just doesn't work as an ending. It doesn't have any punch to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have to cut it mid-sentence, and it's just weird because like they didn't end a sentence at the end. So if you could even, I think I would almost say have a couple endings that you've written out that you actually just have them say even, so that at least you have that. The thing is, sometimes it sounds too canned and things like that. So if you can get them to end something with and honestly, maybe John Clay would have some thoughts on how do you get them to actually end it well, or, if you have if you think through in your mind how you imagine the video starting. So hi, my name is whatever, and I'm a dairy farmer. And then, sometimes that can work as a nice intro, or, before I got into this, I worked, just had to work 16-hour days and all this. But now, and then he goes, so having some kind of those ideas in your head and then kind of walking them through, either asking the questions in such a way that they answer it in that way that you want, or sometimes you just have to explain to them what you want, and then they'll even think of how to say it themselves. But once they know what you're trying to get at, then they can do it. So I don't know if you have any more thoughts on that.
Interviews are just a real tricky thing. I'm always just exhausted when we're done, and I never remember to do it all right. Because usually, when I start, I invariably forget these different pieces, which is why I remember them so well right now, but I forget in the moment. Is that I'll tell them, if you can start your sentence, there's a whole thing, and I've never found anybody be overwhelmed by it. I'm always surprised. I'm like, okay, first of all, don't worry, we're going to make you sound the best possible. We're only going to pick out the best pieces. I do tell them I want this to be a conversation. Forget all this. This is just you and me in the living room, at the coffee shop, and we're just having a conversation. I have some stuff written out here, but I'm just kind of here. I want to hear from you and learn you and what makes you tick and what's interesting. That's what I'm here for. And that's helpful for them. I say, and then I try to say, I can't give you verbal feedback. I can't say, yeah, that's great. So I have to just nod my head because we'll hear it. So I have to be quiet. Sorry. I love talking while people are talking and just giving them verbal feedback personally. I just love it. So it's hard for me. And then I tell them, so they can't hear me. So it'd be helpful for us if you can give us full sentences instead of just saying, that was yesterday. Well, I'm not going to understand what that was yesterday was about. So if you can take my question and kind of start your answer with my question, make a full sentence. I really got to be interested when I grew up doing this or that. You're thinking, okay, that's it. That's a nice beginning. And then they say, and so that's why I do it today. And so, yeah.
Yep.
You're like, okay, well, that's not a good ending. Don't overthink this. Okay, you can overwork your interviewee. You need to be thinking as an editor. Did they end? Am I even going to mind that ending? Maybe what I wanted was earlier, and I don't need them to redo that one. You don't have to redo everything. There's not like a checklist that if you do it all right, it all works. Okay, so don't take that approach from what I'm saying. But sometimes you're like, oh, that was so close. Okay, can we do that one more time? I need the ending. Just when you end, then I remember. When they do that, I think, oh, I forgot to tell them how to end it. Okay, so when you end, it's fine. Just go ahead and end and just stay looking at me and smiling or whatever it is. Don't look around. Don't wait. It feels awkward. I know it feels awkward, but I kind of need that for the edit. I just need your sentence ending. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you're like, it's all right. It's all right. But when you finish a sentence, it's okay. Just leave the sentence and don't say so. Okay. So that's why I like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Was that okay? And you're like, almost. I really need that ending though. So just don't grimace. Don't grimace. Just be confident in what you have to say. Just end your sentence and keep looking at me. Okay, let's try one more time. So tell me how you got it, and you start the question. You always lead with the question. It helps them. Ask them again, and then they got to do it again. You really better want that ending to run them through it that many times.